A certain champion is back in the Craftsman Truck Series. One of the sport's biggest sponsors may be switching teams. Silly season is about to begin. How's it going, y'all? My name is Eric. Welcome to Out of the Groove. Hope you're doing well. I'm really looking forward to this weekend. Dover Motor Speedway, that name is still taking some getting used to. One of the most unique tracks on the schedule. For one, apparently it's one of the few tracks that still has a scoring pylon in the infield. Guys will see this and just say, hell yeah. No, but in all seriousness, we've got some big news to get to today. We'll start in the Craftsman Truck Series. Connor Mozak will race part-time for Spire Motorsports. He'll drive the number 7 truck beginning at Kansas Speedway next weekend. He'll also race at Charlotte, Pocono, the second Kansas race, and Homestead Miami Speedway. This is a huge opportunity for Mozak. I know it's only part-time, but that 7 truck is arguably the best equipment in the Craftsman Truck Series field. It makes sense that his first race would be Kansas, considering he won the Fall Kansas ARCA Menard Series race last year. Also smart to get him some more work at intermediate ovals. He ran most of the Xfinity Series schedule last year with Sam Hunt Racing, but his only top 10 finishes came at a couple of road course races. Good practice, good experience for a young driver looking for that next opportunity. Best of luck to Connor Mozak. Tricon Garage announced that former Craftsman Truck Series champion Brett Moffitt will join their team part-time. He too will make his season debut at Kansas Speedway the first weekend in May. Brett Moffitt raced full-time in the Xfinity Series last season for AM Racing, managed 9 top 10 finishes, finished top 15 in the points, and he also won last year in his one and only Truck Series start with Front Row. Remember, that came at Talladega. Again, Brett Moffitt is the 2018 Truck Series champion. He's now 31 years old, but some may forget 5-6 years ago, actually go back 8 or 9 years ago, he was seen as a legitimate young prospect. So what happened? What went wrong? Michael Waltrip Racing shutting down, I know, was kind of a tough blow early in his career. Then he won the championship at Hattori, but got booted because Austin Hill probably brought a lot more money to the table. Then I do remember his tenure with GMS Racing not ending well. He kind of threw his team under the bus at the end of the season finale and was let go a week later. I don't know half of what's gone on behind the scenes with Brett Moffitt. Is it solely a money issue? Are there, personality conflicts? The one thing I do know is that Brett Moffitt can absolutely drive a race car. He's a 13-time race winner in the Craftsman Truck Series, and I think he's often exceeded expectations in mid-pack Xfinity Series equipment. He's a good driver. I'm happy to see him get this opportunity with a legit contender like Tricon Garage. I know it's only part-time, but I expect Brett Moffitt to run top 10, if not top 5, in every single race this year. Good luck to him. This could be the start of a career resurgence of sorts. You never really know. Big news broke yesterday that could have major sponsorship and even silly season implications. Adam Stern, writing for the Sports Business Journal, reports that Kroger may be on the move as part of a large shakeup within JTG Daugherty Racing. Specifically, Kroger may end up with rival NASCAR Cup Series team Joe Gibbs Racing. Lots of good digging in this piece from Adam Stern. I'll put the link down in the description below. I encourage you to check out the full article. We're only going to react to some of the highlights here. According to Sports Business Journal's sources, JTG Daugherty co-owner Tad Geschechter is considering leaving JTG Daugherty for Joe Gibbs Racing, bringing his longtime relationship with Kroger with him. Geschechter owns a company that has been negotiating brand deals for teams like Joe Gibbs Racing for at least the last couple of years. And Adam Stern in this article notes that Kroger Racing seems to have developed its own brand in association with Geschechter's company that may not be directly affiliated with any race team. So right now, this is all just speculation from Adam Stern and Sports Business Journal's sources. But where there's smoke, there's fire. This is a real possibility that would completely change the outlook for JTG Daugherty, Joe Gibbs Racing. In fact, let's start with Joe Gibbs Racing because it makes all the sense in the world for someone like a Tad Geschecter to come over. Joe Gibbs getting a lot older. We saw last year he sold off part of the team to the Josh Harris Entertainment Group. Let's say Tad Geschecter comes over, assumes some sort of ownership role. I guess we don't know for sure, but now Joe Gibbs starting to develop a more clear succession plan. That makes all the sense in the world for him, and Kroger, with their vendors and relationships, would be a huge get for that race team. Absolutely massive, and it protects Joe Gibbs Racing in case, you never know, what if Bass Pro Shops or auto owners, what if some of these Martin Truex Jr. sponsors fizzle out once Truex inevitably decides to retire? Bringing Kroger in could fill a lot of those holes, so this makes a ton of sense for Joe Gibbs on a number of different levels. For JTG Daugherty, if Tad and Jody Geschecter leave JTG for JGR, the JTG of JTG Daugherty would effectively be gone. They could sell their stake to somebody else. Maybe they sell the whole team. They could sell that charter. The Geschecters going to JGR, they wouldn't bring the charter with them. Gibbs already has the max 4 charters, but maybe that charter could get sold to one of the other Toyota teams like 2311 or Legacy Motor Club. Shoot, maybe JTG Daugherty becomes a Toyota team. It's been, I think, over a decade, but they've had a past relationship with Toyota. Kroger has been a very important partner with JTG Daugherty Racing for over a decade now. They often sell space on the car to their various vendors. That's why you'll see Cheez-It on the car one week. I think this week it's like Hungry Jack's. When they won the Daytona 500 a couple of years ago, it was Cottonelle all over the side. Common grocery store brands, Kroger vendors, they sort of share that space, helps subsidize some of the cost. But Kroger is on the 47 car nearly every single week. So losing Kroger, I don't want to be overly dramatic here, but that could very well be the end of JTG Daugherty Racing. If they try to sell that charter, the landscape will be very interesting because we already have heard that Stuart Haas may be open to selling a couple of charters. I still believe Colleague will take calls. Throw JTG into the mix. If there's 3, 4, 5 charters for sale, that could drive some of the costs down. The supply suddenly may outweigh the demand. I've seen others speculate that maybe Brad Daugherty, the Daugherty part of JTG Daugherty, could hold on to his stake and maybe try to find a new business partner. I know folks are going to yell about Dale Earnhardt Jr. I mean, this could be a realistic entry point for Dale Earnhardt Jr. You never know. Anything is possible, but if I'm a JTG Daugherty fan, a Ricky Stenhouse Jr. fan, this news, this report from Sports Business Journal worries me. I talked about it last week. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. has not gotten off to a good start this year. A top 5 finish at Talladega, maybe starts to build some momentum, but this was a playoff team last year. Set aside their Daytona 500 win, they were top 16 in points almost all year. Stenhouse is still making some mistakes. The speed just isn't there this year like it was last year. This season has been a disappointment for JTG. And Ricky Stenhouse Jr., he's got all the talent in the world. He's a 2-time, I think then Nationwide Series champion for a reason, but he's never been the most consistent or disciplined Cup Series racer. If he loses this seat, I don't see another contender rushing to try and pick him up. So many wrinkles to this story. What does it mean for Joe Gibbs Racing? Does this mean JTG Daugherty could look to sell their charter? Or maybe this is a chance for a new owner to join Brad Daugherty and start a new venture? What happens to Ricky Stenhouse Jr.? Man, so many questions. I think it's safe to say NASCAR silly season is underway. Let me know what you think is likely to happen down in the comment section below. Do you think Stenhouse drives the 47 next year? Do you think the 47 continues to operate next season? Leave your take down in the comment section below. And while you're down there, leave a like on this video if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you love all things NASCAR. And a huge thank you to my very generous Patreon supporters. I will see you all again later this week. Have a wonderful rest of your day, folks. Thank you so much for watching.